Hi everyone, welcome to my top tiers video where I'll take you through my favourite plays in the top three tiers of the DraftKings market, but obviously you can use that for whatever site you play on, FanDuel, Fan Team, it's all going to be roughly the same price-wise. So the big thing about the American Express this week is Scott Scheffler's back. And he's priced up at a huge 14,200 on DraftKings. So looking at the top tier, the decision you need to make this week is, are you going to be playing Scotty or are you going to be fading him? So he's definitely the top projected point scorer of the week. There's nothing not to like about him this week. So chances are he goes on and he wins and he scores a load of points. So what I would say is, if you're only playing one or two lineups this week, then definitely load Scotty Scheffler up in both of your lineups because there's plenty of value to be found elsewhere. But if you're going to multi-enter, then I would look to probably play Scheffler in about 50 to 60% of your lineups. He's projected to come in at about 38% on the Ship It Nation projections. So if you're playing 50 to 60%, then you're over on the ownership. So if he does do well, you're in a better position than most. But also it gives you a few outs as well. If he doesn't play well and don't perform well, then 40 to 50% of your lineups, you're not going to have him in. So you've got a good chance there of catching up. So from the other three options in the 10k and above range, I think Griffin has the most potential. The other two struggle a bit putting on these Poa Trivialis greens. So he'll be higher owned than the other two, but probably about 20% owned altogether. So that's not too much to worry about. You can certainly get different elsewhere in the lineups. Sorry to interrupt the video, everyone. Just wanted to let you know that you can use sign-up code VALUE10 for 10% off any Ship It Nation package. With a sign-up to Ship It Nation, you'll get highly sophisticated player projections each week. You'll get access to Ship It Nation's all-encompassing tool that provides you with everything you need to know all on one cheat sheet, The Stone. You'll get access to Tambo's and Hoop's slate plan, detailing who they're playing this week and how they're going to attack each slate. You'll get access to my weekly course fit rankings and showdown projections for each round each week, and a showdown stone for each round each week. PGA only packages start from as little as £25 per month, or you can get the optimizer thrown in as well for as little as £29 per month. Here's a little cheat sheet detailing what each package offers. Is this the year you step up your DFS game to the next level? Because when you sit with winners, the conversation is different. Okay, let's get back to the video. So moving on to the 9k range. So Siwoo Kim is likely to be the highest owned and probably the play that I like the most in the 9k range. I certainly wouldn't put him in any Scheffler or Griffin lineups, as that lineup's going to end up too chalky. So the reason I like Siwoo so much this week is he comes into this event ranked 9th in the field for shots gained total over the last 2 years and 5th for shots gained total over the last 3 months. So he's actually got 8 top 25 finishes in a row. So in his last 8 events, he's finished top 25 in each of them. He also ranks 5th for shots gained total at the Stadium course, where they'll play 2 rounds this week. So yeah, everything is looking good for Siwoo. Then a couple of other players that I like. I can't really decide between the two of them, so we're going to have 3 players from the 9k range this week. The first one is Harry Hall. He ranks 5th for shots gained total over the last 2 years, 13th for shots gained total over the last 3 months, and is a solid putter on Poa Trivialis green. So I imagine he will roll in a lot of birdies this week. And then the other player that I like is Sam Burns, who ranks 3rd in the Ship It Nation course fit rankings. He's statistically the second best putter in the field on Poa Trivialis greens. And he ranks 6th for shots gained total over the last 2 years, meaning he's one of the most informed players over a long period in the field this week. So ownership-wise, you're looking at Siwoo Kim coming in about 19% owned, Sam Burns about 14% owned, and Hall about 11% owned. So depending on how different you get elsewhere in your lineups this week, that might decide who you play from the 9K range this week. So that leaves us the 8K range, which is probably going to be a bit of a forgotten range this week. With Scheffler being 14,200, most people will have to drop down to the 7K range this week. So the players in the 8K range are going to be low owned, which is great because that's where you can get different with your lineups this week by playing one or two guys from the 8K range. So the first player I like is Jason Day, who ranks 2nd in the Ship It Nation course fit rankings this week for the stadium course. He finished 2nd here last year, so that just goes to show how much he does enjoy playing here. And he comes into this event off the back of back-to-back top 25s. Next player in this range that I like is JC Poston, who ranks 8th in the Ship It Nation course fit rankings. He's a great putter on Poa Trivialis greens, so it's not surprising that he's finished top 25 here in his last 4 starts, and that includes 3 top 12 finishes, one of which I believe was a 6th place finish as well. So clearly likes the course, likes the setup, playing well at the minute. So he ranks 20th in the field this week for shots gained total over the last 3 months, and has finished top 30 in each of his last 5 events, which includes a 7th last time out. So that rounds up my favourite picks from the top tiers this week. As I say, you can use that for DraftKings, FanTeam, FanDuel, whatever site you play on. I think the trick this week is to really try and get different elsewhere. Likelihood is that most people are going to play Scheffler, and there's plenty of places you can get different, such as the 8K range this week, which is going to be quite low owned. So however you choose to build your lineups this week, good luck, and may your screens be green.